Do you think they care what others think around the game? Because sometimes you wonder.
Yeah, I can't. It's hard for me to answer that. I believe that that they do care about their student athletes and in the conferences they're in, and obviously competitive excellence is something we're all striving for, and each commissioner, each AD, they're doing what's best for he or she. But like I said before, I think that's part of our problem. Now I don't have all the solutions, but we have a very fractured industry, and there is a lot less unity in something that has a tremendous amount of value, whether monetarily or how we're preparing our student athletes for life. And to me, that's the start of creating something that is epic, that's sustainable, that can lead to something bigger and better. And but yeah, I would say they care. I absolutely think they care. At some point, what's best for me isn't necessarily best for us. And, and that's where leadership is so important, and that legacy piece is so important. And, what do we want this to look like? Not today, not tomorrow, but 5, 10 years from now. Do I want to be in this chair 10 years from now saying I shoulda, coulda, woulda? I don't, and I don't believe many leaders want to do that. And I think that's where the conversations start. What do we want this to be? And how do we account for all the moving pieces? There's 134, give or take. I feel like there, maybe my number's off. You guys can correct me, but 134 FBS teams. Like, there has to be a solution. Maybe we haven't found it yet, but there has to be a solution. We've thrown out promotion, relegation. We've thrown out other options and opportunities over the course of time, internally, externally, whatever that may look like. What something has to work. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results is not a solution. And that's what bothers me. That's where I was vocal about the rule. Like, does it change? I heard some feedback that Arizona State was part of the reason why. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. I don't know. I just know that we heard a lot of talk, and I got asked by a lot of media members going into the CFP, about us getting that buy and how that was going to impact. And lo and behold, 6-7 months later, however long it's been, the rule has changed. It's hard for me to sit back and say, well, that wasn't because this group of 5 team, that maybe doesn't have as much respect as others and, had gotten that buy. And now all of a sudden the rule changes. It is what it is. We're going to play the hand that's been dealt. We're going to still compete at a high level, and it's always what's next for me. But I'm going to be vocal on things that I see that maybe I don't believe are appropriate.